Hey cycling community, this is Steve Roussos, the Cycling Greek. This is the start of the promenade of the Winchester Circuit Race. This is its second year in existence and the first year that I'm doing it. This is one race that you have to be very warmed up for. As you can see, it starts off with a wall, we take a turn, we're now on steep, we do another bit of a wall, and then we get onto the course. It is here where the work begins. As you can see by the profile on the lower right hand side of the screen, there's nothing but ups and downs here. The only flats that exist are at the top of a climb before it starts going down, or at the bottom of a descent before it starts going back up again. The worst of these climbs is at the finish section. You have a two-step steep climb going to the finish, and then you still have another step to continue on to the next lap. Each lap was a little over 4.5 miles, and we did 5 laps, so that was about 27 miles or so. With our race starting just before 10 o'clock in the morning, teammate Tom Caesar and I took off from my place at 5 o'clock in the morning. When we first got into the car, I looked at Tom and said, you know, we're going to be driving a little over 6 hours to race a little under 90 minutes. Under normal conditions, I would be either working for Tom or we'd be working off of each other. But this course made it anything but normal. This played right into Tom's strengths and right into my weaknesses. This course made the use of team tactics by us almost impossible. This was going to be a race of attrition. In this pack of 50 riders, I made sure in order to survive that I rode toward the front. Tom did the same thing. We were usually in the top 15. The climbs were not the only thing that were a concern. There was also the descents. Some of the descents just dropped off fast. The wind would catch me and want to push me to the outside. While I had no trouble dealing with that, I was concerned about how everyone else was going to deal with that. I was very cautious going down those descents. Fortunately, there was only one crash that day, and it was on one of the major descents. Almost from the beginning, riders were getting flicked off the back the entire time. I lasted 2 laps. Second time up the finishing section, I just couldn't stay connected on that last step, and off they went. I then went into chase mode and just went at it. For almost 2 laps I was chasing another rider from my age group in this race. I could never quite catch him. With a little over 1 lap to go, my legs were getting cooked and I had to back off a little bit. With about 3.5 miles to go, I was caught by a small group that I thought was lapping me, which later I figured out they weren't. They were just dropped. They were catching up to me. They were all in a younger group except one that was in my age group. On a couple times I'd pull away on a climb, but then they'd catch me after that. Although the second time I did this, the rider in the age group didn't come up with them. When we got to the finishing climb, I tried to pull away from them again, but this time they weren't having it. At least officially I finished in that group. I connected with teammate Tom at the finish line. We got back to the parking areas, got changed, and then they made the announcements. Tom had won the age group, and I got on the podium with a 4th place. Shows you what Perseverance can get you. Here's a sped up clip of my final time of the finishing climb with the group. I was starting at the bottom toward the middle of the pack because of the descent I was being cautious on, and because I was getting worn out too. Then the rest of the way, I just dug in and was hoping to make it to the top with him so I can have a bit of a rest. This is how it turned out. How did your race go? The microphone's over here, speak a little bit.
Better than I expected. I hung with your boy at the bottom of the finish hill and then he just crushed me.
Oh, let's get over here.
That was my goal, stay behind him.
Stay behind him? Okay.
Stay with him, stay behind him, and then I did that.
Did you guys have a pack finish?
We were a pack coming into the bottom. Probably, what, 20 guys? Yeah. A mix, and then it obviously singled out up that last hill.
Okay.
I brought up the rear.
Okay, no, I brought up the rear.
Yeah, so, yeah, for 4 laps, 4.5 laps, 4 5/5 laps. It was awesome. It was great. Good ride. And it was full apart.
After the first lap I gone, you got 4 more to go?
Yeah. This part's the killer because you think, okay, I've gone through the start finish, I've got the hill, and then you got to keep climbing right for the